Hello, hello. Wow, I swear my hair looked really good, and then actually I never looked good. It's all good, no worries. I was doing some yoga, getting ready for you guys, and then this is what happened, so it's fine. How's everybody doing today? Doing well, I hope. If you can't hear me, just write something in the chat that you can't hear me. Otherwise, we're gonna get started. I don't know why it seems so choppy today. Just testing it out. All right, hold on. Let me exit out of all these things. Maybe that'll make it less choppy. Hold on. All right. That should have cleared some things up. So we're going to start in child's pose today. And last week, someone asked me if I could share my playlist. So this week, I added it in the comment section over here. It's on the side for me. I don't know where the comments are for you, but yeah, we'll wait like 30 more seconds and we'll see if anybody else shows up. And if not, we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. Okay. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are having the best Monday of your life. I know we're still in quarantine, but it's really up to us if we choose to see it with pain and suffering, or if we want to see it with light. So I'm just going to leave it like that. All right, we're going to go ahead and start in child's pose today. So take whichever variation of child's pose feels good for you. Maybe you take your knees out wide, toes together at the back of the mat, let everything sink down. Or maybe you take your knees together, resting your body down over your knees. Hi, everyone who just joined us. We're going to start in child's pose. So wherever you are, I want you to really, really, really imagine yourself sinking into your body. So taking some nice, deep, intentional breaths. Filling the lungs all the way up. And then imagine that you're coming into your body for the first time today. What does it feel like? And just check in with yourself. Gentle breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Feel yourself expanding in the back. Really bringing awareness to this moment, one breath at a time. Maybe while you're in this pose, you feel yourself becoming grounded in the forehead and in the hands and in the knees and in the feet. Just taking a couple moments here to really connect. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to slowly roll up to an all fours position. So when you get to that all fours position, just taking your time when you get there, set up that solid foundation. So if you've had your knees pretty wide, you might have to bring them a little closer together. Maybe you just rock your weight front to back. Keep that core drawn in nice and tight. We're going to take a couple rounds of cat and cow here now. So on the inhale, just lift your gaze, tailbone up. Then exhale, chin to chest, tuck the tailbone under. And moving with your own breath here, we're going to do just a couple rounds of cat and cow pose. Begin warming up the spine. And I want you to imagine that this is your last yoga class. I'm not saying that to try to make it sad. I'm just saying if this was your last class, what would you do differently? And how much more intentionally would you move with each of the small things? If this was your last class, wouldn't you want to give it your all, your 100%? Instead of saying, oh, cat and cow is boring, I don't care about it. Or something like that, right? So we're going to start doing some hip circles, or take whatever movements feel good for you. You can rock your hips side to side. You can turn back towards that right hip as your hip is like leaning over to the right, so you get a side stretch in the left side body. Maybe you do some of these, I don't know what they're called, I call them like barrel rolls, where you like let your chest drop, take it over one side and then back up, kind of like you're doing cat and cow, but side and side. Maybe you want to take some hip circles. Moving your hips back towards your heels, over one direction and then the other. But wherever you are, just make sure that you're moving with your breath. And allow your breath to guide you as you move. Maybe you're checking in with your body now and saying, what does my body really want today? And if this is considered the little stuff for me, if this was my last yoga class, how would I do it differently? If you're going one direction, just go ahead and switch now. If you're just making one movement, maybe you switch it up and do something else. If you want some more wrist love, maybe you shift your weight a little bit further forward on your wrists, rocking side to side. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And after two more nice, deep, intentional breaths like this, we're going to tuck the toes at the back of the mat, lift the hips up, and meet in a downward facing dog. When you get there, maybe you lift high on your toes. Maybe you exhale, drawing your heels back down onto the mat. Maybe you make small movements or big movements, but take a couple moments to really feel this downward dog. And whenever you're ready, just look between the hands. We're going to walk all the way up to the front of our mat, meeting in a forward fold. When you get there, let your head and neck relax. Maybe you bend your knees a little bit. My knees are bent, see? On the inhale, lift up halfway, flat spine. And then exhale, fold forward. On the next breath in, we're going to slowly roll all the way up. So bend your knees a lot. Slow roll all the way up to standing like zombie. Slow like zombie. Then inhale, lift your shoulders up to the ears. Then exhale, bring them down the back. So we're going to go ahead and take our feet together now. And I want you to stand in mountain pose, bringing your hands to heart center. If you set an intention, or if you'd like to set an intention, you can do that now. Take a nice deep breath in. Inviting all the energy that you want to cultivate here today. And then maybe exhale through the mouth. On the next breath in, we're going to reach the arms out and up. And then exhale, bring the hands into our center. We're gonna start with some sun salutation B today because I feel like I don't ever teach sun salutation B, but I always do sun salutation A. So we're just gonna do sun sal B today. So on the next breath in, and we'll break it down so we do it really slowly first, and then we'll do it a couple times, and then we'll be done with it. Okay. So on the inhale, I like to bend. I like to just touch the ground for a second. We're gonna meet in chair pose. So this is a stronger chair, but if you're gonna take a real chair, you want to make sure your kneecaps are back so you can see your toes, and then bring your hips down a little lower. You can take your arms up above you. Take a deep breath in here. And then on the exhale, we're just going to meet in a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Walk back to a plank pose. So we're going to take a couple moments here. Maybe you shift your weight front to back. I have a tendency of keeping my butt a little too high, so just make sure that your core is really nice and activated and you're like a straight, solid line. Your gaze is going to go forward now. You can bring your knees down to the ground or not. Chaturanga, elbows back. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale, tuck the toes with the hips. Downward facing dog. We'll stay here for one breath. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. The next inhale, we're going to place the right foot between the hands. Plant that back left heel. We're going to move into warrior one. So arms up. Everything is looking forward. My hips are facing forward. We're really, really nice and bent in this front leg, front hip. Take a deep breath in here. And then after that breath, just go ahead and bring the hands back down. Frame the front foot, and then take the right foot to the back of the mat. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, look forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking one nice deep breath in here. One nice deep breath out. And then on the next breath, look between the hands. Place the left foot between the hands. Moving into warrior one again. So let that right heel come down onto the mat. Lift the arms up. Your core is really nice and engaged here. Our hips are facing forward towards the front of our mat. We're really nice and bent in this front leg. Arms up by the ears. We're not like hunched up to the ears though, so you might need to check and kind of just get a little too stressed and then relax them back and down. That's nice. Staying here for one more deep breath in. And on the exhale, just go ahead and bring the hands down, frame the front foot, come back onto the toes, the back leg, and then we're going to meet in a plank pose. Knees down or not, chaturanga. Elbows back, eyes forward. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Now we're going to stay in this downward dog for about 5 breaths. So invite whatever movements feel good for you. Maybe you bend one knee. Maybe you rock your hips side to side, asking yourself, what does my body want today? What does my body want right now? I'm gonna tell you guys something. There's a mosquito flying around my legs, and I don't know if I can live. Oh my gosh. Okay. It better not bite me. That's all I'm saying. All right. On the next inhale, look between the hands. We're gonna walk, step, or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. And then go ahead and bend the knees, bend the hips. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Staying here for 3, 2, 1, and come back up. Mountain pose. All right, I'm gonna move this a little bit so you guys can see me. My hands are up. There we go. All right, we're gonna do it again. So on the next breath in, go ahead and touch the ground. Chair pose. Deep breath in here. On the exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Plant the hands. Walk back to a plank pose. Gaze is forward. Chaturanga, knees down or not. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to take a deep breath in here. And then on the exhale, go ahead and plant the right foot between the hands, warrior one. We're going to stay here for 1 breath. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then plant the hands. Moving back into that plank pose, we're going to take another chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. You're gonna take a deep breath in here. And then on the exhale, plant the left foot between the hands. Right foot plants, moving into warrior one. Take a deep breath in. One more deep breath out. And then go ahead and plant those hands back again. Bring that left foot to meet the right at the back of the mat. You can bring your knees down or not. Move through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhaling into a downward facing dog. Your heart is racing a little bit now. Try to circle back to your breathing. If you need a little rest, you can meet in a child's pose. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. You can invite movement here, stillness, whatever feels good for you. One more breath here. And then just go ahead and look between the hands. Hop, step, or walk all the way up to the front of the mat. When you get there, lift up halfway. Inhale. Exhale, fold. And then the next breath in, reach arms out and up. Chair pose. And exhale, mountain pose. Okay, I like sun salutation B, so we're just gonna do it one more time, and we'll kind of do it a little bit faster. That's the one thing that I don't really like about it, is that it goes so fast, but you guys can do it. You're gonna do great. Just follow my lead, okay? So on the next breath in, we're moving into chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, walk back. Plank, chaturanga. And then inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then tuck the toes, downward facing dog. On the bottom of this exhale, we're gonna plant the right foot between the hands. Inhale, up, warrior one. Nice and strong here. Exhale, plant the hands, meeting back in a plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. On the bottom of this breath, we're gonna plant the left foot between the hands. Plant the right foot, moving up, warrior one. And then we're going back down. Plant the hands, plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. So we're gonna stay in this down dog for 5 deep breaths. If you need a child's pose, go ahead and take it. My teachers used to tell me, like, rest in down dog, and I'm like, that is a lie, because down dog is so much work. But if you can rest in down dog, feel free, or you can rest in child's pose. About 2 more breaths here. Wherever you are, circle back to your breathing. Try to make your inhales just a little bit slower, and your exhales just a little bit slower too. And whenever you're ready, just go ahead and look between the hands, hop, step, or jump, all the way up to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat spine. Notice how my knees are bent here. You can totally bend your knees anytime you're in a forward fold or a halfway lift. Then exhale, fold. Next breath in, chair pose. Then exhale, mountain pose. Go ahead and shake it out now if you need. Take some little arm swingies. I don't know if this is a yoga pose, but I love to teach it because I feel like sometimes in yoga we get so tense, and it's more about like finding the relaxation and the activation at the same time. So just take a couple moments here. Good. We're gonna bring our feet together again. On the next breath in, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands and go ahead and just walk back to a plank pose here. We're gonna shift our weight forward and backward now just a little bit. And then we're gonna come down to our forearms. So make sure that your forearms are under your shoulders. Okay, we don't wanna be like out here, that's way more work than necessary. And then look at me, my butt's a little too high. So try to come to be like straight like a board. Right, there we go. Keep that core nice and tight. We're gonna stay in this forearm plank for just a couple of moments. So give it your all. Imagine this is your last yoga class, right? If you can't take it, go ahead and just bring your knees down, okay? If you want more, maybe you tap one knee, then the other knee, then one knee, then the other knee. If you want more than that, maybe you tap right foot out to the right, left foot out to the left, right foot out to the right, left foot out to the left. If you want more, Maybe you take your knee to your shoulder. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and come all the way down to your belly. You bring your elbows out and just let your left ear rest down onto the mat. You can bend the knees, rock from side to side. How are you doing? How's your breath? Check in with yourself. Yoga is about the connection of the mind, the body, and the spirit. And it's really about us bringing awareness to our body, bringing awareness to our breath, and just checking in. You're going to take 2 more deep breaths here. And after that second breath, go ahead and straighten those legs again. Tuck the toes, bring the elbows back in. Then we're going to lift up into a forearm plank. Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of work today. It's totally fine. You got this. Plus, I can't even see you, so if you're not doing it, I can't even tell, right? Okay, so we're here in our forearm plank. We're going to move into a side plank now. So just go ahead and take that left hand over to the right, so it's like in front of the body, and then lift up here. We'll stay here for like 5 breaths. So do your best you can. If you're being lazy and you want to just lay down, go for it. I can't see you, right? If you want more, maybe you lift up that right leg. You do some leg lifts. Or if you want something else, maybe take your hand behind your ear. You do some side crunches. 3, 4, 5. All right, come back to your regular forearm forearm plank. Stay here for 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to switch up to the other side. Bring your left hand on your hip. We're really engaging our core here and pulling this hip up as high as we can. Your head isn't like forward. You don't have to look at your feet. Just make sure that your head's in line with your body. You can stay here just like this, or you can take some of the variations you took on the other side if you took those. Whew. 2 more breaths. And after that last breath, come all the way down onto your belly. Take your right ear onto the mat, elbows out. Take a really nice deep breath in. And then open the mouth, exhale. We're going to push through the hands now and meet in a child's pose. So come all the way back onto the mat like this. While we're in that child's pose, you can keep your knees together or your knees out wide, whatever you prefer today. And we're going to just bend the elbows and make prayer hands. I'm going to do it with my head facing down. I feel like you guys can hear me better when my head isn't down into the ground. But the backs of my elbows are facing down, and I'm going to place my thumbs on the back of my neck. So some of you may feel this in the back of your arms here. And if you have blocks, like yoga blocks around you, you can do this with the blocks too if you want more of a deeper stretch in this pose. Whenever you do, try to keep the back part of your elbow down on the ground as opposed to the side part of your elbow, because it's going to totally stretch something completely different. Right? So keep the back part of your elbow down, and then bring your head through. Breathing in through the nose, and out through the nose. And check in with your body here. Check in with your breath. If you've got the blocks, just go ahead and remove them now. If you don't have the blocks, just come all the way up. And we're going to tuck the toes in the back of the mat here. So some people call this toe crusher pose. We're just going to sit on our toes here. We're going to sit up really nice and tall. I'm going to keep my hands on my hips. You can start doing some shoulder rolls. Maybe go the other way. Maybe you want to do some neck rolls. Bring your chin from shoulder to shoulder. Just being really, really careful Really, really gentle on our neck. Taking about 3 more seconds here. So one more breath. And then just come all the way up. Really gently, really slowly. So wherever you are, I want you to start really, really activating and engaging your core. So keep this core really, really nice and tight. Then we're gonna come up onto our knees. I'm gonna keep my toes tucked under like this, just because we're gonna move into camel pose. So I'm gonna take my thumbs and put them on my back dimples. And I'm going to engage my core as I lean back and press my hips forward. My inner thighs are engaged, but I'm mostly just focusing on keeping my core tight to protect my lower back. And then I'm thinking about opening in the heart. So I don't want my, shoulders to hunch forward or anything like that. So on your own, take a deep breath in. Then exhale, just gently lean back. And the reason why I want to have my toes tucked is because if I feel like I can go all the way, maybe I can grab the back of my heels. Don't let your head relax all the way down. Keep it kind of like neutral with the body. You can just stay here with your hands on your hips, elbows drawn back. If you can reach your heels and you want to keep going, you can release the feet onto the tops of the feet. And this would be kind of like the full expression. But just listen to your body wherever you're at. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to come all the way up. And sit back down on those feet. Awesome. We're going to meet in a downward facing dog. Plant the hands, tuck the toes, lift the hips up high. Take a deep breath in, lift high on the toes. And then take a deep breath out. Bring the heels down. We're going to do that again. Lift it up high on the toes. Inhale. Then exhale. Bring the heels down onto the mat. Okay, one more thing. It's going to be super fun. We're going to get down onto our forearms. We're just going to do a tiny bit of shoulder work. So if you love dolphin, just stay here in dolphin. If you don't love dolphin, then that means you need to do more dolphin. So stay here either way or come down into child's pose. It's your practice, so I'm just giving you suggestions. But you can stay here. A lot of people like to interlace their fingers when they're in dolphin pose and stuff like that. So if you're here, there's a little game that I like to play to try to warm up my shoulders sometimes. And then it's kind of like I try to boop my chin past my hands. So if you want to do some shoulder work, this is the work. The work past the real work, which is still dolphin, is still work. So wherever you are, we're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. And after that 3rd breath, just go ahead and bring your hands back down onto the mat, downward facing dog. And the next breath in, we're going to lift the right leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, open up in the hip. Staying here for 3, 2, 1. We're going to move through a core plank. Hug that knee into the nose as much as you can, and then place the right foot between the hands. Yeah, nice. Go ahead, we're going to move into warrior 1. So bring that back heel down again, and then lift everything up. Arms up to the sky. Square your chest and your hips to the front of your mat. And notice how my stance is a little too big. You might have to readjust. Think really, really nice and low in this front hip. Try to keep this knee stacked over that heel, just like we talked about when we were doing warrior 1 earlier. Take a deep breath in. Draw the shoulders all the way up to the ears, and then exhale, relax them down. My shoulders are nice and active, but they're not hunched up or anything. Good. We're going to take one more nice deep breath in here. And then on the exhale, we're going to move into warrior 2. In this warrior 2, ask yourself, maybe where can I soften? Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. We're going to flip the front palm. We're going to move into peaceful warrior. So this is a side stretch. You can feel it from the right hip to the right hand. Feel yourself expanding in that right side body. Staying here for one more nice, deep, intentional breath. And then whenever you're ready, come back up. We're going to straighten this front leg. Turn your toes. I'm going to turn around because I'm not facing you. Turn your toes to face the same direction. So now you're facing the left side of your mat, and we're gonna move into Prasarita Padottanasana or wide-legged forward fold. Okay, so first you can take your hands on your hips, find length here, and make sure that your toes are either parallel with one another or slightly pigeon-toed, because if they're like out, it's not gonna be safe for your knees. Always remember your toes and your knees have to be facing the same direction, okay? So here we are. Take a deep breath in. I like to back bend a little bit on the inhale. And then on the exhale, just go ahead and fold, hinging at the hips. So make sure you're not rounding in your back here. You should feel this in your hamstrings. If you don't feel it in your hamstrings, then you're probably rounding as opposed to poking your butt out and then hinging here, okay? So wherever you are, you're doing great. If you can't reach the ground, it's no big deal. Maybe you keep your hands on your legs. Wherever you do, keep your heart open. So we're still not, crunched up. We're nice and relaxed. Breathing in through the nose, and out through the nose. Maybe you shift your weight a little bit forward and backward. Maybe you feel a difference when you do that in the back of your hamstrings. Staying where you are. I'm going to turn around because I'm going to get confused. Take one more deep breath in. And then on the exhale, we're going to just walk our hands to frame the front foot, which is the right foot. And notice how I came up onto the toes of my back foot here. Go ahead and bend the left knee, and come down onto the ground. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right arm back and I'm going to reach for that foot. So I've got the left foot in my hand, and what I'm doing here is I'm stretching the quad. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. If you stretch with your foot, you'll be stretching the shoulder. But I want to stretch the quad, the front of my leg. So I'm going to pull with my hand back. And if you can't reach your foot, maybe you have to come up a little taller to get to it. Or maybe you need to get a strap or a shirt or a towel and hook it around your foot and pull it towards your body. You should feel this in the front of that left leg. Staying here for 3, 2, 1, and don't forget to smile. If smiling is your thing, whatever. Go ahead and release that left foot. Tuck the left toes again. Plant the left hand. We're going to take the right arm up to the sky with the left knee. So we're in like a runner's twist. Take a deep breath in here. One nice deep exhale. Moving back into warrior one. So we're going to have to plant that left foot. Bring both arms up to the sky. Sink low in those hips. Keep that back leg active. Everything turning towards the front of the mat. And the next breath, we're going to lean our weight forward. Hands are still framing the head. And then just shift your weight front and back a little bit, and we're going to move into warrior 3. So if that was like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? That looks way too hard. What you can do is you can just drag your foot across the mat until it lifts up. And we're just going to stay here for 3, 2, 1. By the way, keep this back leg really nice and active, like you're pulling it up with your glute, and then keep your arms up also, and then open with your heart. And then we're going to plant the hands. Nice. So now we're in a standing L. The important thing about standing L is that we've got our toes flexed towards the ground. Because if my toes are facing the side, my hips are open. Okay. When you get here, take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, we're going to do some glute work. So just tap your toe outside of the left of your mat. And then make a big rainbow. And then tap it outside the right of your mat. We're just going to do this a couple times. So maybe make these movements really nice and slow. If you're like, this is crazy, I don't want to do that, maybe you just take a hamstring stretch instead by meeting the forward fold. We're going to do one more, okay? Breathing in through the nose. And out through the nose. Good. Go ahead and bend that standing leg here. And bend the back leg. We're going to come up all the way to standing. So hug that left knee into the chest. When I'm here, I have to keep my core really nice and tight to keep me grounded in this leg. I'm going to put my right hand on my right hip. And I'm going to make some circles in the left hip here for a second. All right, now go ahead and keep that left knee bent and bring the knees in line with each other. I'm going to take my left hand and grab onto my left foot. We're going to move into dancer pose. So the way that you do this is you make sure that your knees are in line with one another first. Flex that left foot and that left leg so you're really pulling that away from your body, you see? And then hinge at the hips, tilt a little bit forward. If you fall, it's okay. I'm probably going to fall today. And then take your right arm in front of you. Keep those inner thighs engaged. Keep that core engaged. Open in the heart for 3, 2. Try to lift that leg a little higher. 1. Good. Come all the way up. Shake it out. Awesome. All right, the next breath in, reach arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a really nice full deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. All right, you got another side to do. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Flat spine. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, go ahead and walk back. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. If you want to take a vinyasa, feel free. So we'll take about 3 breaths in this down dog so we can give everybody time for their whole vinyasa. Bro, this mosquito is like, thank God it hasn't bit me yet, but it's like on a mission too, I think. And you guys can't see it, so I just look like I'm crazy. It's okay though. All right, if you did your vinyasa, you're probably done now. On the next breath, then we're going to lift that left leg up to the sky, bend the knee, open in the hip, make some hip circles. And whenever you're ready, we're going to hug that knee into the chest, core plank, move all the way forward, plant the left foot between the hands. We're going to move into warrior 1. So notice how I planted that right foot, arms go up to the sky. Nice bend in the front leg. Shoulders facing the front of the mat. Keep that back leg nice and active. Take a deep breath in. Draw the shoulders up to the ears and then exhale. Relax them down. Yeah, that's nice. One more deep breath here. And on the exhale, just moving into warrior 2. Notice how my hips open up in warrior 2. It's different. We're going to stay in warrior 2 for 3 breaths. Don't forget to smile. If smiling's your thing. Smiling's my favorite, so it's all good. And after the 3rd breath, just go ahead and flip the front hand. We're moving into peaceful warrior. Take that left hand up to the sky. Whenever you're in this peaceful warrior, don't forget, I got stuck in there. Don't forget that this hip and this knee is still really, really nice and bent and back leg's active. Come all the way up. We're going to shift our feet over to the right side of the mat. So we're going to move into a wide-legged forward fold or Padasana here. Like I said on the other side, keep your toes either slightly pigeon-toed or parallel with one another, not facing out, okay? So take a deep breath in, find length, and take a little tiny back bend here. And then exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. You can stay just like this. If you want more, you can take your hands and bring your fingers in line with the toes, elbows facing back, and then pull with your arms so that you can feel that like traction in the back of the thighs. Or you can take your peace fingers around the big toe here, and then do the same thing, just pulling with your elbows facing out to the side. Sorry, the universe is really testing me right now. Wherever you are, just focus on your breath. And try not to let the external factors bother you. So on the next breath, we're going to move our hands over to the left foot. Grab the front foot, come up onto the back toes here. We're going to place that back knee down onto the mat. We're going to come up here. I'm going to take my left arm. I'm going to reach for my right leg. Once I grab that right foot, I'm going to pull it into the body. So I'm trying to stretch the front of this leg here. I'm not trying to stretch the shoulder, although you can do that too if you want a shoulder stretch. But we're going to do dancer, which is where we're stretching our quad first. And if you can't reach, you might have to come up onto this thigh first and then try to reach. Or you might have to hold onto like a strap or a towel or a shirt to wrap around your foot. And stay here for 3, 2, 1. Just go ahead and release that right foot. Tuck those right toes, plant the right hand, lift the right knee, and the left arm going up to the sky for a runner's twist. Find a nice deep inhale. One nice long exhale. The next breath in. We're meeting in warrior one. So come all the way up. Let that right heel plant, and then sink low in the hips. Keep that right leg nice and active. Shoulders facing the front of the mat. Hips facing the front of the mat too. Once you get there, you can take a deep breath in. Draw the shoulders up to ears. Then exhale. Bring them back and down. Whenever you're ready, we're going to just bend at the hips here. So I'm just bringing my weight forward and shifting it over on top of like my left thigh. And then we're going to just come up into airplane or warrior 3. So if you fall, it's okay. I fell like 5 times when I was practicing this earlier. If you fall, it's okay. Just go ahead and try to lift that right leg a little bit higher. Keep opening up in the heart. Keep those arms pressing back, up and back. Stay here for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and plant the hands. Standing up. When you get here, take a nice deep breath in. And then a nice deep exhale. Now you're ready. We're going to just make these little baby rainbow taps. I don't know what else to call them, but I like to tap my toes on the outside of the left of the mat, and then make a big rainbow, tap outside the right of the mat, and imagine like you're using your whole glute to make these little baby rainbow arcs. Breathing in and out. So imagine that one of these little rainbow arcs is like an inhale or an exhale. So that's how slow we're trying to breathe. That's how slow we're trying to move. Okay, last one. Then whenever you're ready, just go ahead and lift up. We're going to bring that right knee into the chest. Your left calf is probably feeling it, and it's okay. Totally got this. Stay strong. We're going to make some circles in the hip here and the right. 2, 3. And then just bend that knee. Bring the right knee in line with the left. Then grab onto that right foot. Keep your core nice and tight. Activate the right foot. Pull into that arm. You see that, like how it just became so much more activated? And then hinge at the hips. Look at something in front of you that's not moving. You can bring the left arm up. And try to lift your right foot a little higher. You got this. Stay here for 3, 2, 1. Whew. Go ahead and release. You can shake out the left leg, right leg. Take a deep breath in, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna do that again, reach the arms out and up. So this time, open the feet, take the feet out a little wider. We're gonna move into Malasana or yogi squat. So just come all the way down to a squat. When you're in this squat, try to keep your heels on the ground. So you might have to put your legs a little wider. It just depends on your anatomy and how your hips are feeling. So just do what feels good for your body. And some people might have to sit a little higher like this, and that's okay too. It's just going to be a little more work, but it just all depends on your flexibility. Maybe you rock a little side to side, or maybe you find stillness. Whatever feels good for you. Take one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Awesome. Come to your butt. Bring the knees up. Just rock them side to side a little bit. We're going to do another really fun yoga pose now. It's called frog pose, and there's no cool, flowy way to get into it. All I have to do is come. And I like to face the side of my mat because the ground's a little hard here, and I want my knees to be like nice and cushioned. So to get into frog pose, what you're basically going to do, and I'm going to do it standing up so you can see like the angle of my feet. So you want your knee to be stacked on top of your foot, basically, but we're doing this on the ground, okay? So this is what you should look like, but facing this way. And then whenever you get there, maybe you stay up on your hands for some more support. And then check your hips. If your hips are too far forward, you're not getting the benefits of the pose. If your hips are too far backward, you're not getting the benefits of the pose. So try to keep them stacked in line with your knee. Maybe you come down to your forearms if that's more comfortable for you. And circling back to our breath. I always get really fidgety in uncomfortable poses like this. Ones that make you breathe a little harder. But try to refrain from fidgeting. Try to just focus on your breathing. Maybe circle back to that question earlier that I asked of, what if this was your last yoga class? How would you do it differently? Or how much more intentionally would you be focusing this pose? Breathing in through the nose, and out through the nose. And sending your breath to your hips. And if this is like totally not accessible to you or like not comfortable, you can take a wide-legged child's pose. Something else that's really important about yoga is like, number one, checking in with your body, honoring your body. And number two, not pushing yourself past your limit, but pushing yourself almost, to your limit, because growth happens right outside of your comfort zone, but not much further than right outside of it. So just keep checking in. I'm going to take 3 more breaths here. And after your 3rd breath, there's really not a graceful way to get out. Just try to be gentle on your body. Maybe you take your feet together at the back first and then just come all the way up. Really nice and slow. Come into an all fours position. Tabletop. And then just rock your hips side to side. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Extend that right leg. Just press. Get the stretch in the back of the calf. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. On the next inhale, we're going to take the right foot, bring it in line with the body. Take the left foot behind you. We're going to move into this modified fallen triangle. I think this is called gate pose, but I love this pose so much. Just go ahead and shift your hips forward. Let your heart be open. Stay in here for just a moment. And then go ahead and take that left foot, the foot that's behind you, and bring it in. And then just sit outside of that foot. So now you've got this left foot hugged up against the right. Keep that right leg nice and long, nice and strong. So keep this leg really nice and active. And then just gently shift your gaze in your body so that you're facing that right foot. On the inhale, find length. And then on the exhale, we're going to fold. And lead with your heart when you're folding here. Keep these toes flexed towards the face. We want this right leg to still stay really nice and strong. Notice how I don't just like grab for my foot, because whenever I just do that, my back automatically rounds. But if I hinge at the hips and I lead with my heart, I just walk my hands a little bit, and then I just stay here. One more deep breath in. One more long, slow exhale. Another nice breath in. Just go ahead and Release. I like to pick up the right leg with my hands and then place that right foot outside of the left knee. We're going to move into a twist here. So on the inhale, find the length, sit up really, really nice and tall, and then take the right hand, plant it behind the body. Pulling that like right shoulder back. And on each inhale, I want you to lengthen, and then on each exhale, I want you to deepen your stretch or deepen your twist, even if it's just your eyes. But each breath in, find length again. And then with each exhale, go ahead and deepen that twist. You can hug onto this knee with the left arm. So we're turning towards the right, or we're turning towards the leg that's like with the knee facing up. I know a lot of times people get confused of like which way to turn, but we're turning towards that knee. Circling back in with our body. Circling back in with our breath. And then whenever you're ready, just release, come all the way up. We're going to just take that right leg. We're going to bring the knees kind of together here. We're just going to move into all fours position. So you're going to have to adjust when you get there. Maybe you rock your hips side to side, or maybe you take a round of like cat pose and cow pose. Another nice breath in. Just extend that left leg long, tuck the toes, and press back so you feel the stretch in the back of the left calf. And sending your breath there. Sending your breath to the part of the body that's getting the most stretch. Keep your core nice and tight. And then we're going to bring that left foot in line with the body, right foot behind us. Come up onto that right hand. Modified column triangle, so you can send your hips forward, opening the heart. Staying here for just a moment. One more round of breath. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to take that right foot inward and just sit outside of it. So I'm going to turn around so you guys can see. You've got that right foot hugged up against that left leg, and then notice how my leg was just chilling here, and then I just activated it really nice. Just activate that leg so much that you could almost lift your heel off the ground. Wherever you are, just turn your body to face that extended leg. Good. Find length on the inhale. Then on the exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Just maybe walking your hands down a little bit. Keeping this left leg nice and strong. Breathing into the nose and out through the nose. And as we're nearing the end of our practice today, still staying present, still circling back to our breath and checking in with our body. It's never like you do yoga and then you're done within a class. It's like moment to moment, breath to breath, always circling back to your breathing and always going back to your intention. Whenever you're ready, come up and pick up that left knee with the right hand, bring it outside of the right knee. You're going to take the left arm behind you. Find length on the inhale. And on the exhale, twist towards the left. Lengthening on each breath in. Then deepening that stretch or that twist with each breath out. You can place that arm outside the knee if you want more and like push your body away from you, but make sure that you're still open in the heart. We're not compressed. Staying here for 3, 2, 1. After that last breath, just come all the way back up. Center, we're going to take that left foot, bring it outside the right. We're just going to come to lay on our backs. So we're on our back. Go ahead and hug your knees into the chest first. Give them a big squeeze. Give your body a hug. Maybe tell yourself, I love you. Thank you for coming to yoga today. Then we're going to move into happy baby. So just hug onto the outer edges of your feet here and then draw those elbows or those knees into the underarms. Keep your tailbone as close to the ground as possible so we're not up like this. Maybe you rock side to side. And then if you want to stay in happy baby for a little bit longer, feel free. Otherwise, we're going to take a supine twist. So hug the right knee into the body. And then draw it over to the left. Keep the right shoulder grounded. Your gaze can go to the right. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. One more round of breath here. After that last breath, just coming all the way up, we're going to switch. So hugging the left knee into the body, grab onto it with the right hand, and then draw that left knee over to the right, keeping the left shoulder grounded on the mat. Gaze over the left shoulder. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Whenever you're ready, just coming all the way up. Making any final movements that your body wants or needs today. If you have a wall by you, maybe you want to take your legs up the wall for Viparita Karani. Maybe you want to take your Shavasana there. Maybe you want to take the soles of the feet together, knees out wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. Maybe you want to take your Shavasana that's pose 2. Maybe if you're here, you take your arms out by your sides like goalpost or cactus. Or maybe you just want a corpse pose, bringing the palms facing up, extending through the legs. Wherever you are, honoring this time and honoring your body, honoring your rest, you deserve it. Allow your eyes to close and your mind to wander, and I'll guide you back when it's time. Gently begin coming back now. Bringing awareness to the breath and to the body. Moving at your own pace. Maybe inviting micro movements to the fingers and the toes. Or taking your arms overhead like an early morning stretch. Whenever you're ready, rolling over onto the right side of your body for a fetal pose. Just taking a couple moments there. And then with your eyes soft or closed, just coming up to a comfortable cross-legged seat. Bringing your hands at heart center. You get there, take a nice deep breath in, draw the shoulders up to the ears. And then exhale through the mouth. Give it a big sigh. Leaving some space for gratitude here today. I'm so grateful for you being here, participating in this yoga with me. So grateful to be here, leading this practice with you. I'm so grateful that this isn't our last practice together. Light within me, honors, loves, and respects light within you. Namaste. Happy Monday, y'all. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns, requests. I'll be here Friday at 6 p.m. And for anybody who's curious why I do Monday at 6:15 and Friday at 6, it's just because I teach on Mondays at 6:15 and Fridays at 6 in the real life whenever quarantine's over. So that's why I've been doing it this way, okay? If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any requests, like I said already, just hit me up. Also, this is a donation-based class, so feel free to donate if you feel called to do so. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Happy quarantine. But I do have yoga going on. You can take the 30-day Yoga for Splits challenge, which is on my website, which I can leave in the comments or in the description here. It's basically 30 days of yoga, and it's got 20 minutes a day of guided stretching videos to help you deepen your split or to get to your split. If you have any low back pain, this is also really good for you because it'll help you open up the hamstrings and the hips. That is what basically will relieve your low back pain and all that good stuff. All right. So also, exciting news. Yay. Okay, I forgot this almost. I have an intro to yoga course for people who are not flexible. So if you took this whole class with me and you were like, yeah, I love it, and maybe it's not for you, but you might have it in mind for somebody else that you know that wants to gain more flexibility. So a lot of people are like, why is flexibility important? Well, when you're flexible, you're less likely to get hurt. You're more mobile. You're able to reach your back. Like, what's the point of being like super strong if you can't like reach your back? You know what I mean? So there's so many benefits to beginning a yoga practice. Although if you're here, you probably know all about it. So anyways, coming out on Friday, May 1st, Intro to Yoga for people who are not flexible. Tell your friends and hit me up if you have any questions about it. And I'm so excited about all that. So, all right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And that's it.